Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
Good evening and good afternoon, and welcome to this special interview here at Fatou. It's a great honor to have the Director of Press Office of the President, Mrs. Amie Bojang Sissoho. Actually, we have been looking for this interview for over a year now. So it's a great pleasure to have you on our studio, Madam Sissoho.
Thank you very much, Fatou, for having me.
This is a great opportunity to talk to you, but there are a lot of events going on. Let's start with what happened about a year ago. This presidency, since His Excellency the President Adama Barrow came to power, has been scandal over scandal. What is happening at the State House?
Maybe you should talk about the issues that the State House, under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, has been able to engage in towards the development of this country in terms of the efforts being put together to make sure that out of the 22 years we have been struggling to get our liberty, to ensure that we have the freedom and the peace of mind, the stability to be able to focus on national development. But without diverting from your question, I wanted to show you that when you are in leadership, you are bound to be faced with scandal. When you are Fatou, in your small corner, nobody knows you, nobody talks about you because you have no responsibility towards anybody. But once you are a leader, every day you'll be faced with challenges.
But that also is a sign of instability. A lot of scandal is also a sign of instability, Madam.
I'm not sure whether it's instability in the way you want to portray it. It shows that there are issues that people want addressed, and they're looking forward to those things to be addressed.
Yeah.
And it shows that people now have the liberty to be able to, what they have been hiding, what they have been silenced over, they can now openly express it. Me and you knew that years ago we cannot say certain things. We cannot express even our simple opinion on an issue. But now we have this space. And remember that President Barrow's era is different from the other eras in different ways. We are in an era where the media is open, it's more liberated, people are more confident to express themselves, to express their opinions, to say things they want to say. So we are in that era. And it happens that things that were hidden maybe in the past eras, where if something will happen, maybe 2-3 people will talk about it. It would not go anywhere. It will stop there. But now, the slightest thing happen, remember that it will go viral because one, we have more media, we have more open media, and people are liberated. So when you say scandal over scandal, it means it's like there is confusion, and I don't think that is the case.
Well, that is the indications we get it. But I want to tell my technical team to look at my sound. A lot of people are telling me that the sound is very low. This is a very important interview, and we want the honourable madam to give us all the answers we are going to ask for. I'll start with what happened, let's say, last year. We have seen the Faraba, before the Faraba incident, we have seen the Mankunda, the Farato incident. So many issues that happened, and the police would tell us their reports. up to now, this government never gives us a report of investigations that happened. I remember also the former agricultural minister's issue. There was a report, and still the government told us that they were reviewing it. How long would it take this president for him to come out with these reports and tell Gambians really he's interested in combating corruption? He's interested in being the people's president that he was voted in for.
When we start with the reports you're talking about, remember that as a leader, there are people you are responsible to work with.
Yeah.
And each of those people have their responsibility. You cannot impose certain things on people, but you can work with people and ensure that you get what you expect from them. And anything that technical comes to the president, he doesn't take those decisions immediately.
Yeah.
He refers it to the technicians, and the technicians are obliged to give him the information. So those are some of the things that maybe through the bureaucracy, things will be delayed one way or the other. I just want to assure you that in terms of President Barrow being the people's president, if I didn't know President Barrow before I got into politics. But since I started working with him, I could see, I could hear him say from his expression the feelings of how do we move this country forward. How do we move it forward? We can move it when everybody takes your responsibility. If something, Fatou, it's not easy to say, but bureaucracy in the civil service is a huge challenge that can hinder us in a big way. But we all have responsibilities, and we all must push to the limits to get things done.
But that's why the president needs to get the right people in the right places. If he cannot get us, it's been 18 months since this presidency, and we are not able to see any serious civil service reforms taking place. It's the same attitude, it's the same people, and that is the responsibility of the president.
That's true. It is the responsibility of the president as head of state. But you have people who are assigned responsibilities further down the line to take up the responsibilities. But Fatou, we have to understand what the state government will do. For example, if you have people who have been employed, right, and they are in a job, and they have not done overtly anything wrong that you used to say, you must move out. How can you just come and say, please move out?
What if they're not doing?
Exactly. If they are not doing their job, the evidence must be put together to say this is the reason why I said Amie is not doing her job. So get her out. It's not a matter of, oh, I don't like Amie. It's not as simple as that. It's not a matter of Amie doesn't support
But what
you.
I'm saying here is that the civil service is just been the same since January left. Nothing has. Does it mean that the president are not doing effective changes to get his agenda out? Because remember, we voted in for President Barrow. If it goes wrong, it's President Barrow.
When it goes wrong, it's President Barrow. But then at the same time, remember that we have been in a very difficult circumstance. Even if you come. The same things is difficult to explain. But when you come to even an office, where a cleaner is supposed to clean your office and decides that not to clean your office, and you report the cleaner, and it becomes a problem. So what I'm trying to say is, each of us have responsibility. That's why we're appointed to do a job. And that is why, if you are kicked out of your job, you should not complain. If you know you are not doing the right thing. But I don't think we should just think of, let's just kick people out. When you kick them out, they are going to be part of society. That attitude will still stay. But in the process of trying to bring about the change, we have to think of our mentality and attitude towards things. Whether it's work, the time we go to work, what we do at work, how do we spend our time at work, how do we use the resources we are given for work. That is not something you can police every day. It is now going down from President Barrow to the line supervisors and managers to bring the staff on board by getting them engaged, getting them informed, allow them to understand what the change is all about through your interactions with them. Let them know what the focus is. Let them know why they accepted to be part of that job. So therefore, when it comes to changes, for us to feel that there is change, we must think of how, as members of society, civil servants in particular, or people in the public sector, to remember that you are not working for an individual, you are working for the state.
That brings me to my next question, Madam. Can we fix the sound? I have a lot of complaints about the sound. Can we just look at the sound properly? But Madam Director of Press, now let's talk about the scandals. Let's talk about, because when you say, when we look at the presidency and we're talking about the president trying to do the right thing, they said leadership, it has to start from the leader to come down. This government has been labeled, in less than 2 years, has been labeled as corrupt. I'm just going to tell you how people say it. Has been labeled as corrupt, has been labeled as the biggest taker of anonymous donor. A lot of people said, Jammeh used to say the World Bank, and now Barrow says anonymous donor. Madam
Fatou, before you move on, I got into politics, campaigning, and during that period, we had received support. People, Fatou will give you something to say, add it to your funds, but please don't name me.
But that was during campaign.
Exactly.
And because we were in a dictatorship.
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
I'm coming to that. Does it mean that Fatou wanted something from me, or Fatou was promoting a cause?
Because Fatou wanted change.
Exactly.
At that point, we all wanted change.
Exactly. Now that we want change, the change, we're also thinking, this is my thought now. We're also thinking that if we make a change, we want things to work. But that doesn't mean that everything, you may have philanthropists, individuals, who want to support, they don't want to be out there.
But that's the problem, Madam Press Secretary. You know why? Let me come here. In good governance,
I agree.
Anonymous donors are not allowed because most of them have political interests. They have business interests. If I give you $10 million and I come to you tomorrow and say, I want a $5 million contract, of course you will give me, most likely you will give me that contract. That is the issue.
I would not agree to that, because support given to President Barrow, for example, those who give him the vehicle to support the National Assembly members. It was the National Assembly members who came to him. I was at that meeting where they appealed that as National Assembly members, we don't have transport. We find it difficult to move around. We will appreciate it if we can get support to be able to have vehicles that will facilitate our communication and mobility. He said, I will think about it and find out. If I am able to do it, I will do it. He talked to some people. They decided, okay, we can support this. Actually, if you recall, I think I made mention of this, it was even half that was available, because he wanted to give everybody at the National Assembly. Eventually, he had half of it, and was promised that he will get another half. Say, okay, then let's keep it until we have all, then we give everybody. But he did not just get up to say, I want to give you. They appealed for it. You understand? So what I'm saying is, if it was that if you give something, then you are expecting something back, that means that he gave the vehicles to the National Assembly members. But what can the National Assembly members, looking at their duties and responsibilities, do for the president?
A lot.
No, because their responsibility.
Yes.
Of
they are lawmakers.
The laws they are going to make.
Yes.
Those laws are not for president alone. Those laws are for every Gambian, including themselves.
Yes.
And they are not supposed to. No, honestly.
But you know, those laws can favor or not favor the president. If the president has an agenda, Madam Press Secretary, if the president has his agenda and he wants to pass through the National Assembly, he can use his influence to make sure these assembly members help him get this agenda out, Mr. Madam President. That is something that
I would not agree to that. The reason being that I think we have responsible people we have elected into the National Assembly. And I think they have a conscience.
And that conscience is to represent the Gambia. And representing the Gambian interest is more than representing the interest of the president. And we have to be focused on realizing and understanding that we have seen the signs that this National Assembly is really keen in fulfilling that objective. We have been here. We knew what was happening with National Assembly members. But today, we have seen how they are challenging ministers when they bring issues to the to the Assembly. That is a demonstration that there is a different orientation and understanding and a level of awareness about the roles and responsibilities of a National Assembly.
Yeah.
So I cannot agree to that because you support a National Assembly member, that National Assembly member will not, for example.
But the point is, the president can support National Assembly members in their own single capacity. But the point is, it is just wrong. It's not good governance for a government that is trying to put all the structures to good, making sure strengthening our democracy. We came from a dark period. 22 years ago, this would not have happened. 22 years ago, I would have not started with the president. And I said, these are all the things that we appreciate. These are all the things that we applauded this government for. But this is a government, this is a transitional government. And we want this government to set the foundation for good, good governance, democracy, anti-corruption. And if we see the State House, the President of the Republic, giving National Assembly members, lawmakers, people that are supposed to check the presidency and the government, monies, handing over money. Let's come to the $10,000.
Okay.
That is what is happening right now.
Fatou.
The president giving $10,000 to National Assembly members.
Fatou, let me bring your attention back to the context before we miss the point. First of all, President did not call National Assembly members to queue and come and say, here is $10,000 in an envelope. That didn't happen. What happened was, some National Assembly members went to see the president during one of his trips overseas at the airport and had personal contact with him and requested that they want to see him. They requested for that audience, they were given audience. When they had the audience, they discussed a lot of issues. Amongst them, they discussed that they were having challenges to reach out to their people. Even fuel was a problem. And they appealed to him. He said, okay. He gave a pledge. He said, I will check. If I am able to do it, then I'll do it. When he was in a position to do it, he decided that, okay, I'll give my personal assistant to relay the message and give those who asked for it. He gave them 10,000 through Lamin Cham, who is his personal assistant.
But Madam, that itself is wrong.
No.
The president cannot be seen giving handouts to lawmakers. Maybe he can give it to private citizens.
No.
Remember when the president said some government journalists came to him asking for money?
Exactly.
We all condemned it because it was wrong.
Okay.
He cannot be, these are media people, but he cannot also be seen giving money to lawmakers.
But what I'm saying is, those lawmakers did not come there to say, we are lawmakers, give us this money because we are going to do you a favor in the National Assembly. That's the notion I want us to take out of the equation.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
That is wrong. That was not said when the money was given.
It has nothing to do with that.
But can you also agree that these lawmakers are the ones who vote for the laws? They are the ones who table and discuss, argue issues.
I don't know the exact number. Excuse me.
Okay.
I don't know the exact number of the lawmakers who went there. I don't have those facts.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, as much as they went there, those who went there, I think would be the minority in the National Assembly to be able to take that decision to say, yes, we are going to do A, B, and C for the president. That is the notion I'm taking out of our minds. It is wrong, and it is not possible that we have these National Assembly members, because you are given $10,000, you ask for it. It's not like something you were called to come and say, oh, come, I'm going to give you this so that you can do this for me. No,
but why would the president do it just 2 months before the UDP Congress? The reason why, let me come in here.
I don't want you to get no. I don't want you to get into the partisan issue. As far as I know, I'm not here to discuss what he does or do not do with the political parties at that level. What I'm trying to say is, the fact that the discussion that what prompted this was because Honorable Sana said National Assembly members.
Yeah. The reason I'm bringing that level. Let me just justify that. The reason I'm bringing the UDP Congress here is because the notion out there, you're trying to dismiss the notion that the president did not do it to buy influence, which I accept for you. But what I'm trying to say here, the notion out there, what people are saying, the timing, the president did it 2 months before the Congress, meaning he was trying to buy the influence of the National Assembly. That not alone, he also had meeting with chairpersons of the UDP executive who vote at the Congress. Does these two add up? Does it make sense that he's trying to buy influence? That's what people are saying outside.
That is at the political level. I'm not engaged in that.
You're the president's spokesperson.
But when it comes to private meetings he has with people, whether it's partisan or non-partisan, there are private meetings that I'm not aware of. I don't know what they discuss there. I deal with him from the official level. So anything dealing with the party level issues or politicians, that one I will make sure I will advise you to get in touch with their political party people to deal with that. I'm talking from the official point of view.
Did you hear the audio that was circulating that the president is saying the president is UDP, the vice president is UDP?
I did not hear it.
You didn't hear it. But is the president independent or is he UDP?
As far as I know, President Adama Barrow resigned from the UDP as a member of the party at a time when the coalition came in to say you are going to be our candidate. So if you are going to be our candidate, you cannot come to be our candidate on a party line. Therefore, he resigned officially from the UDP to be the coalition candidate. And because he is a coalition candidate, he is officially on the profile of a coalition president. If President Adama Barrow wants to go back to UDP, that means that he's going to do he's going to resign from his candidature as the coalition candidate. So these are technical things that I don't want to get into.
This one saying, Madam President, do you know that audio is very serious? The president calling himself UDP, when you just confirmed to me that he is an independent candidate.
Yes, he is an independent candidate.
He's elected on that independent candidate ticket. I remember during the National Assembly, the IEC chairman will bar anybody from using the president's picture because he's independent.
Exactly.
Why is president calling himself UDP?
Fatou, let us be frank and honest about these issues. President Barrow came from a UDP background. Nobody can deny that. But officially, when he's operating, he is not operating under the banner of the UDP. Let us get that right and let us be frank about it and accept it as the truth. It may be difficult, some may not like it, but that's the hard fact.
But the truth is, he is the one who said it himself.
That's what I'm saying.
In an audio.
That's what I'm saying. If President Barrow says that, you have to understand the context
where
he's coming, why he's saying that. At their political party level. That's why he's saying that. If he said it. Because I didn't listen to it.
So meaning he's UDP underneath and he's the independent candidate.
You can put it that way if you wish. But as far as I know, President Adama Barrow is an independent candidate of the coalition 2016, and he came to power through that, and that is what his official operations are all about. That I can say. And this is where we are working with him as staff, because he came under that coalition 2016 as the president. What I want to, Fatou, I cannot know you for so long and then decide one day that I don't know. It's not possible. Let's be real. We are all human.
That's true.
President Adama Barrow has a history where he has always been UDP. That is at his party level. But when we come to the office, as far as I am concerned, we should be focusing on what is the right thing he's doing under the presidency. When he's operating as President of the Republic of the Gambia. That is why, if issues like this come at the party level, at their party level, those who are involved, they will discuss it. But I am coming in not because I am UDP or President Barrow is UDP. I am coming in because President is President of the Republic. We have to differentiate some of these things. And it is important that we understand these things and to differentiate that as human beings, we may have our lining.
Yeah.
We may be leaning on particular issues that we believe and feel that this is what we need to do. But at the same time, let us recognize and accept that President Adama Barrow is there as President of the Coalition 2016. That is how he is officially operating. And I can only talk about his official operations. His private operations that are beyond my work limits, I cannot say anything about that.
Yeah, and that's why we are not even going to talk about some issues, because I know that is not on the office of the president. But I mean, for us to have good governance, for us to have a smooth running office, the president
for us to have good governance,
yeah,
it cannot be only President Barrow.
Yes,
it has to be President Barrow, me, somebody else. We all have responsibilities to make sure we have good governance. If, for example, I come to you, you know that what I am requesting is wrong. It is your responsibility to know that as your duty, you have to bring my attention to that, even if I deliberately, for selfish reason, want to do certain things. We have responsibility to this country, and we should not make it as light as, oh, it's just another transition. This is the strong foundation for this country to move forward in the future. How can we do that? Each of us has the responsibility at institutional level to make sure that we're doing the right thing in the institutions, to make sure that when you are operating, you're operating in the best interest of the country, where any citizen who have a right to that institution should feel free, liberated, confident that if I go to this particular institution, this is what I will get as my citizen's right. We cannot bring about change if we are not ready to change our attitudes. I think one thing I always think about and reflect on is that we were all dying for a change, but we were not prepared for the change. We were dying to have change in the Gambia, but we were not prepared for the change.
That's what Halifa Sallah told us when we interviewed him.
Exactly.
He said we only had a change. We never had an agenda after the change.
The reason being that each of us were so concentrated on the issue of getting Yaya Jammeh out. That is why it took some time before the National Development Plan came out. People were complaining at the time, but it took time for it to come out, because all the institutions must buy into the idea and the concept that we need a development strategy to make sure that we operate within the strategy, to make sure that we use that strategy to move the country forward.
Now that you mentioned the National Development Plan, I want to come in there. We want to upload this government, the National Development Blueprint, a great blueprint. Every Gambian applauded the president, whether you liked him or not, because a lot of us ask, what are you waiting for? What is coming next? When the National Blueprint was put together, and when the team went to Brussels with all the pledges, the whole country was amazed. Most of it was grants, some are loans, but this was something the Gambia has never witnessed, and we applauded this government. But we also know these pledges were attached to conditions.
Exactly.
Good governance.
Good governance.
Anti-corruption.
Anti-corruption.
Good leadership.
Good leadership.
And what is happening right now at the State House? Every day, people are calling on President, giving out money to lawmakers, buying influence and others. Don't you think that
Fatou,
this will affect
I think that is wrong for you to say that it is wrong.
I'm just saying that the notion out there.
And
you know what is
wrong.
happening, Madam Press Secretary? Let me say this. The reason why I bring this up, whether you know it or whether I know you are on social media, and which you guys are doing very well on social media, but people are out every single day tweeting that there's corruption. And when National Assembly members pick up the calls and tell media that yes, we have got the money, we were called to receive this money. This is just a verification to the accepting the money, whether it's a bribe or something that they asked for, but the action happened. Don't you think some of these things might hinder some of these pledges that we were expecting, and this is going to do good for Gambia?
Fatou, if National Assembly members have the conscience that if they ask for a favor and they get it from the president, that favor is going to hinder their operations of this in their responsibility. I think that you have to question then the conscience of those people involved. If you know that is wrong and you are the lawmaker, why did you do request for it? That two wrongs cannot make a right. What I'm trying to say is the issues of good governance is at the institutional level, but it's also at the individual level. We have a responsibility. This country, if we talk about the pledges that are there, I know that every time people are there to provoke the government to do things here and there, just to make sure that government goes beyond the boundaries of human rights. And that can be used. We are very conscious of that. We are activists, some of us.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is...
But then they said our cool president is no more. The
Yes,
calm,
Fatou.
collected President Barrow we voted in.
Fatou.
The nice guy who was very soft-spoken.
Fatou.
But now, why is President Barrow always reacting to people and
Fatou.
calling their names out,
Fatou.
Madam Press Secretary?
We all have to be strong, one way or the other. We are challenged every day, but we are also human. If you want to go beyond not being human, then that's an issue. We may come across hurdles, but we will overcome them. And the fact that that is not the primary objective. The goal is to get over it. The goal is within these 5 years that the president committed himself towards the nation is positive about how we operate, how we relate to each other, and we can criticize. And one thing I can give him credit for, you can criticize President Barrow and he listens to you. And then he will tell you what he feels. But he will listen to your criticism. And that is a sign of good leadership. That is a sign of a humble person. Because if not, even your ordinary boss, you wouldn't dare go and even face.
Well, recently we have seen him change tone a lot.
No, yeah,
President Barrow used to be the calm, collected president that everybody loved.
If you have,
why is he changing now?
No.
Is he on social media? Does he check some of the stuff on social media? Because maybe he's not too much thick skin. That's why. Is he on social media?
If he is on social media, you don't expect President Barrow to go and sit there and tweet.
No, but I mean, sometimes he gets feedback, right?
Yeah, he will get feedback.
Yeah.
On issues that are important for him to realize that these are concerns and issues, and he will reflect on them, and people will share with his experts and technicians on the issues that are necessary for him to respond, whether he says it or whether he directs people to do things. Those are there. Because he's interested in knowing how people feel and what is going on. But that doesn't mean that he has to sit there 24 hours to see whether Fatou is on or not. That's not the issue.
Well, he told me he watched Fatou
on TV. On TV,
yes,
not the social media. He's interested in the media in general. He reads the newspapers. He's on TV. He watches TV. And he's very aware of current affairs issues. What I'm trying to say is, if we give President Barrow the opportunity as a collective towards the direction of getting to our target, to lay the proper foundations so that the next governments coming in, they don't have to go through these structures and the difficulties of rebuilding our economy, our foundations, our system in place. Then we'll be adding up, we will not be minusing. Remember that we have gone back scratch to build again. And that is a very difficult process because it means that things were not right. And to correct those things, you have to have a lot of consideration for a lot of issues in taking decisions about those things, which are very challenging and difficult. However, it is important for us to focus as Gambians, whether we are here or abroad, wherever we are, we have a responsibility. If we follow and take those responsibilities at heart and ensure that we do our part, I'm sure if we each do it, that means that we are going to see the impact quicker than we anticipated.
The notion out there is President Barrow himself who's not selling his agenda out there, because what President Barrow, the notion out there is what President Barrow is interested in is his re-election, not what he's doing. Let me tell you, I had told this to the President himself. There's so many things going on. The Commission of Inquiry, the TRRC, the Constitutional Review Commission, the economy is doing very well according to IMF and other institutions. Good governance, freedom of the press. But the President himself is busy thinking about re-election, the coming of the youth movement and others. The President is busy more on the re-election, focusing on re-election than doing what is here today.
Fatou, what all the things you're talking about is because people in this system have a focus to say, let us work together to get things done. President Barrow is aware of all this, but it is not his responsibility to advocate and sell those issues. There are people responsible for them. We should all take our responsibility to sell out. That's the office, Madam Director. The communication department. Yes, I must acknowledge though, you guys are doing a great job. But what I'm saying, also,
yes.
I'm not here to blame anybody, but we have shared responsibilities.
Yeah.
And our small unit is just one of those. So therefore, we let us all work together, because you have different components that brings the whole.
Yeah.
If we all play our parts, it will be better. And it's not easy, but we have to be determined, and we have to be persistent, and we have to be encouraging each other. We have to motivate ourselves and have a reason why we are inspired that we are involved in this whole fight. For me, the inspiration is we decided that we've left everything that could have made our lives easier, more comfortable and better, to make sure that we move on with the Gambia and contribute a little quota. So if we all do it, what you're doing now is part of that process, because you are allowing citizens to be able to express themselves and react to issues that affect their lives. And what I like about it is the freedom to do that. My only concern is when we want to bring in disrespect, not accepting each other's differences or not accepting divergent views. You impose your viewpoint to say that is the only truth, and there is nothing like one truth. Your truth may not be my truth, but at least let us accommodate each other to say, okay, this is my version, and I will also express my version. But then it's up to the listeners to say, okay, this is what it is. But if you come with a blind eye to say, I don't want to see, I don't want to hear, I don't want to understand, then it becomes a problem. So for me, honestly and sincerely, I don't waste time on such people. What I do is look at those people who are sitting on the fence, trying to understand, to empower them to be able to make informed decisions, as well as those who are already supporting you to be empowered with more information to continue to support your cause. One thing we have to agree, we will never, never, never have everybody on the same plate. We must accept that. And what is nice about that is to respect the different views in a very respectful way. I can disagree with you.
Yeah.
Some of the issues you are bringing, I don't agree, but we are not insulting.
No. Yeah.
Let us just try to
have to give respect to the office.
Yes. It's very important,
it's
even
very,
without being formal in offices and things like that.
Even
Even informally, when we interact as human beings, we all want to be respected. And therefore, it is expected that if you expect respect from others, you should give respect and show respect.
Amie, we also know the President received the Faraba report a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. What's happening? Is it going to be like one of those reports that he will keep under the desk?
Actually,
because this is a very sensitive area
the President has already reviewed the report, and it's with the technicians. They are the ones that are going to put things together for him to now formally share it with the public.
Wow. How soon do you think we get it?
I cannot tell because I don't know how far the technicians are with it. Yes, but I can tell that he has already gone through it and it has been assigned to technicians to work on it.
Before we go, Madam Press Secretary, for us to have a smooth I know you're tired, but don't worry. This is a rare interview to get from you, so we're not going to let you go. We have just 10 minutes to go.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk about the president's relationship with his cabinet, the vice president. What's the president's relationship with the vice president?
Official, responsible, respect, have appreciation for what he is doing as vice president, and he has all the respect for him that I can say. I can say that. Yeah. And he has respect for his cabinet because he listens to them. He listens to them. And it's not a cabinet where you do, because I see how they informally react before they get into formal settings. That shows you that there is some relationship existing here and there in terms of how they relate as people, how they relate as colleagues, and I think that's very important to have that type of relationship in dealing with people.
Is the president thinking of re-election? Is he going to run in 2021? Because he has already told us the constitution is 5 years.
What?
No, 3 years. Is he running? Do you know if the president is going to run in 2021?
What I know is the president is working towards 2021 so that we have the right structures in place, the right institutions in place, the things we need for everybody to have a level playing ground, for everybody to be part of what they want to do. And then that will open the arena for all Gambians who are interested 2021 to come out to say, I am going to be president, I want to be president, here I am, vote for me. I have not discussed with him, and he has not told me that he wants to be president 2021. He has not told me, so I cannot say it.
You cannot speak on that. Finally, last questions. I cannot do justice to this interview if I don't ask these questions, Madam Press Secretary. I have a personal relationship with you, but a lot of people have said that you are the most powerful person in this government. You are the closest to the president. You influence a lot of his decisions. Is this true?
It is not true. I don't see the power they're talking about. What I see is I have somebody I respect, somebody I have great regard for, somebody who is humble enough that when I want to do my job, he doesn't make it difficult for me. That is what I see. I have not seen where my influence has overshadowed his decisions. No, I've not seen that. I know he has respect for me, and I have great respect for him. I know he appreciates what I do in my job, but that doesn't translate into me influencing him to decide on anything. When it comes to my area of work, I have the responsibility to tell him what I need to do as part of my job. But what he decides is not me, it's him.
Wow. Finally, what's your message to the Gambians that are watching you out there?
I would say, please, let us say the Gambia. It is our country. We all believe in the Gambia. We all fought for the Gambia.
Yeah.
And deep down,
you're getting emotional. You're getting emotional. Why are you getting emotional at this point? Why are you getting emotional?
Because
I have never seen you this way. Why are you getting emotional? Why?
Because I know that deep down in our hearts, we all care for Gambia. We all want the best for the Gambia. We all want to see a Gambia where tomorrow we relax and say, oh, we were part of this process to make a better Gambia. I know that is deep down in our hearts, even for those who we do not agree with. But I just want to appeal that let us be careful of the words we utter, the things we do that will bring conflict instead of peace and stability in the country. The peace and stability of this country is our future. We cannot have our good roads, we cannot have our good private buildings, we cannot have investment, we cannot have anything if there is no peace and stability in this country. And we owe it not to President Adama Barrow, we owe you to our children and the future generations of Gambians who are coming. And we have to be careful what we do for those people tomorrow. That's why I feel emotional.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for the time. That brings us to the end of this interview. I have never seen her this way, but I mean, I think it's normal. Just like what she said, everybody has a feeling, and sometimes we get to these points. Until we come your way next time with another special interview. Good night to you all. And remember, Kerr Fatou Season 1 starts October 18, next week, Thursday. Good interview. Bye-bye.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Busubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property. Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Busubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads